Okay, time to jump in to the last game of the day. Here we're gonna hit the tiebreaker in HLE RNG. One's gonna decide who's number one, who's number two coming out of this group stage, and kind of looks like it's in favor of RNG. Really, only falling to was it Cloud9 earlier? No, what am I even saying? Yeah, only falling to HLE just earlier, just about 2 hours ago, and gonna see if actually the big difference maker is gonna be here. I want to actually look back real quick, see who else actually. Where was the other defeat for RNG earlier in groups? RNG. What's happened to you? Yeah, RNG beat HLE earlier on in the round robin. I think we had an upset win. I think it was Fnatic earlier today, actually. Yeah, Fnatic getting the upset. So that's been the only two losses for RNG so far. But the team fight games, the laning phase, it's going to be big. It's going to be everything here. Lyric pointing out just how much better HLE have been across the board, at least in the laning elements, to most of the teams that they've been facing in their group. And that's going to be the big question for, will RNG be able to counter that out or step their game up here? Because even, unfortunately, earlier we actually saw Xiaohu on the Gwen. Didn't get too much done with it, at least early on. It got punished, it got put down, and it wasn't until much later that it even had a chance of being relevant. Now Xiaohu with his Kennen. This Kennen's been banned out a lot. It's finally going to come through here, and these team fights are actually going to be very explosive and very scary, actually. Well, they've got the AD carries forward here. Gala is not actually a top tier AD carry in most respects. He's actually a top tier Kaisa. And the Galio coming in here for Cryan. So playing another sort of global option, not taking the Silas. Was not banned out, so just kind of showing his champ pool options there. This is also going to put a lot more. It's going to make the AP elements of RNG a little bit punishing, especially because now Willer on the Jarvan's going to have a pretty easy time itemizing against AP in general. Going to get way more value than he should. There's the Thresh ban. Lulu's been the other one to actually pair up with the Aphelios and be able to help keep him alive with the wild growth. Leona being taken away from Misfortune, so keeping her presence pretty high in this tournament. But otherwise, Rakan's been like the hot stuff of the day, especially for the engaged support. Because if you got everyone engaging and going forward and jumping on the enemy team, can't really do much else here. And there's the Nautilus ban, which I would think that would actually be a good pick into Vista getting the Rakan, which is actually what I'm expecting to be. I feel like it's what's actually being contested here. Top lane not yet secured for HLE. They know what they're going up against. Mid. Could be a support Galio, actually. That could actually be a support Galio. That's not the worst thing in the world. There's the Rakan ban. So getting rid of what's become like the top tier support for the day. Or at least one of the most highly contested ones, just for all the engage and CC that Rakan can bring to a fight. Now what's going to be left? Thresh is out. Blitz wouldn't. Maybe not, because that would just allow Jarvan to get going. There's the Rel. I've had a favoring towards Rel on account of if Leona's not available, Rel's another very good engage option. Alistar was another one that we saw. I think it was Group A. I think it was Group A that actually had Alistar coming in here for Vulcan. And Morgan threatening to actually pull out the Gragas, which would actually do quite well and wouldn't have too much of a problem. Would be a great disengage option to kind of push away Xiaohu and push away Ming from being able to just engage like they want to. So very good defensive pick. A good bit more of AP in the indexed into this. And here comes the... Wait, it is Jarvan support. Vista pulling out the Jarvan support. Okay, this is getting interesting. Because Vista is just going to pull out throwing flags, and Willer's going to take the Viego into the jungle and have a ball, I guess. Could be a top lane Viego. We're not actually confirmed on that just yet. Last pick's gonna be the jungler. For Wei, it's gonna be Xiaohu. Now, where are these picks going? This could be a Gragas support and Jarvan in top lane. This is getting interesting. It's getting very interesting right now. Yeah, I think that's gonna be. I think that's it. I think it's gonna be Morgan on the Jarvan top side against Xiaohu's Ken, which will be very scary, very weird, very interesting. But it does mean he's gonna have a lot of AD in his build to help blow up targets faster and actually have even more tankiness about him than normal.
Yeah, and that's going to be the name of the game for RNG. I am curious to see how some of these lanes work out in terms of lane prio, because things like having the Gragas into the rel, even if you do have a Phelios versus Fortune, I would feel like maybe Hanwha should be able to get the push, and then seeing who is able to impact the map first, because that's what Worlds has been all about, is seeing some of these...
Who has first move option out of support has been the biggest issue, or the biggest point of contention.
And so on and so forth, to be able to transfer that pressure back to side lane. So I feel like a lot's going to be how this bottom lane matchup especially goes, and then transferring that pressure around the map.
All right, here we go. The last game of the day, a battle for first place in the group. To dodge T1, to dodge Damwon Kia, and to dodge whoever tops Group D tomorrow. First seed is almost assuredly an easier quarter-final match. Hanwha Life Esports, the 4th seed out of the LCK after a rough summer split, have clawed their way in through the play-ins and now are one game away from topping the group to be the 3rd consecutive LCK team to top their group here at Worlds 2021.
LCK on fire.
Royal never give up. The reigning MSI champions who took down Damwon Kia in that final, and now up against a battle first or second in the group. I mean, they could just have that rematch right away if, you know, they're drawn that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be the most interesting thing, right? I mean, both of these teams kind of pending on how this goes. I mean, having to face teams like Damwon just sounds so scary. T1 on the opposite end, you know, Frank, I feel like strong.
T1's definitely not near as scary as Damwon, but they're sort of slowly getting their stuff together.
Obviously, it's easier than T1, as shown by the results of yesterday, potentially, but yeah, so far not a lot of good options, I guess, regardless of if you're first or second in the group.
I mean, it's funny because, like, well, EDG beat RNG and T1 beat Hanwha Life, so it's like, crap, that group's just better than us.
Yeah, best of fives will always be different, but we are going to get onto the map.
A little cheeky here. Xiaohu might be able to actually get a stun out. A lot of damage here on Morgan. This is going to be that range versus melee discrepancy. It's going to be pretty scary.
He still typically goes AD, so you should still see the Gore Drinker and look for him to play the same role he would play in jungle. He just is quite a proficient laner with the range that he has with that E.
Yep, Emax Doran's Ring gives you the ability to pressure. It's the same thing as like Comet Malphite, where you don't win most lanes, but sometimes you get a little bit lucky. You have enough poke that they have to kind of play back. Of course, Xiaohu with the Doran's Blade will have some sustain, crying back for 2, and he's going to go for the play.
Oh, goes for it. Only gets the auto off. Can't land the Justice Punch.
And we expected this, right? We know that Twisted will be able to push in this matchup early. You're kind of waiting as Crying to get a few levels under your belt to where you could just use your passive in Q to be able to walk up, one-shot the wave, then start walking away. Does have the Predator, so especially on things like resets, once he gets boots, he'll be able to start walking towards...
Way not being spotted on that ward.
And looking for ganks.
That ward is so shallow, it doesn't spot the movements, but Willer's able to walk up anyway and walk into this one. He doesn't know that Sinjao is right behind him, that ward. He doesn't realize the pacing that Sinjao's already beyond that one. It's not going to matter, though. It's chips in the night. Willer indeed will take the Raptor camp. In a way, is going to like walk down and be like, wait a second.
Oh, I think they're going to meet each other.
Okay. Cooldown difference. Will he land?
Yep, Willer puts out mist. I think Wei wants this. Sidestep's going to save him. Alrighty, so Willer getting a little bit of an advantage there. Going to get himself a camp stolen. Or a stolen camp.
Trophy, and the top side it's temporarily 3 for Xiaohu, as top scuttle, of course, controlled with all the top pressure, and I believe they may have seen Willer at the bottom side. Ooh, yeah. Can they kill Ming? They're gonna have an easy route. That means Willer can maybe land the stun. Here comes the minion wave. Ming, does he have the way to crash back down?
Magzo's gonna come out, but it's not really gonna do much. Now Ming's just isolated. They haven't even drawn Turret Aggro yet. That's gonna put a decent bit of damage onto Will. He should be able to get out of this.
surprised they weren't able to lock anyone down. They do get a flash out of it, but it looked like it was in a pretty good spot for HLE with the fact that RNG were definitely planning to go for a cross map at first. Once the dive looks salvageable for RNG is when you can see RNG back off on that top side and look for the save down in bottom lane. But still, a summoner's a summoner. It's still a win for the side of Hanwha.
And the wave is going to be pushed in. Now, thankfully, in the beginning of the game, turrets are very tanky if they aren't in bot lane, so Chovy did not actually get a turret play out of mid. He did, however, get a very large CS lead and should have a pretty clean recall here to catch back up in the lane. A few minions were denied away from Gala as well, and obviously he's flashless,
so nothing really too crazy to report here, only 4.5 minutes in. It's been a very slow game here. It's actually, for such a fiery day, this tiebreaker is actually being quite tamed and quite restrained so far. Willer in the area, looking for probably just a counter gank. Lane gank from way incoming. Grind does have his ultimate. There can be some follow-up. Nope, he's level 5. So no level 6s yet for anyone. Okay. Totally mistaken about what could, or what was possible there.
Chovy's still not level 6, so feels like that's what you're really waiting for the side of Hanwha.
I'm curious if Hanwha Life are trying to set up a freeze before the recon. It looks like that's what's going on. They're trying to set up enough minions that they can match the Noon Quiver purchase, but then walk up to lane and deny a wave. And that's kind of the situation we're in. I think Deft is, at this point, if you know, MF can...
And they're just gonna back off. Alright. So, nothing yet. Nothing crazy yet. Slight gold lead there for HLE. Just the lane difference. Because right now, they're like, it's okay if Jarvan falls behind, but Willer's outpacing Way just a bit. The invade from earlier helping him. Mid lane is entirely in Chovy's favor on kind of just the ranged advantage. Bot lane, Deft is doing a lot of work right now on Gala here. What was that, like 3, 4, 18 CS, nearly 20 CS gold lead over the opposing AD carry, and there's not really been too many issues. I wonder if the Gragas has just been poking a lot with his barrels to dissuade Gala from getting as much CS as he wants or as he needs. So HLE kind of doing well here. And Morgan's probably just gonna maintain this. Oh, I thought there was something else going on there. And there's not really much ganks going on either. It looks like the Scuttle Crabs are split evenly. Drake's up, but no one's really worried about anything right now. Everyone's just playing wave clear. Chovy with the global has yet to do anything with it. Same for Crying on the Galio, though that one is more of a defensive ultimate. Now, what is anything special going on here? Arikaku spellbook. See, even this Predator on Galio, like, there's not a lot of action going on in this game. There's not a lot of sort of ganks or any skirmishes being attempted, even though both these teams have their own resources with which to do that. It's very shocking that Twisted Fate is yet to actually gank anyone. We are 6 minutes into the game. Destiny's up. Ming's out of place. And I might think... Oh, I won't think. I won't think Ming's going to hang out a little bit too long. Just trying to get that 1 CS. And you can't get it with your partner to double it up. That's unfortunate. And the poke continues for Morgan. So wave's gonna crash on in. Teleport from Jehu is actually yet to be used here. So right now this should be basically this, not even a cheater recall because he's already burnt his teleport and we're like 8 minutes into the game. But Morgan holding himself up pretty well. It's not too far behind Jehu. Oh, here we go. So objective finally getting started here by Willer Herald. Going to get smacked around a bit. Way is in the area. I think he might actually dissuade Willer from this considering the vision has been spotted and taken out. Chovy, I think you're about to walk into some trouble here, and this is going to be the engage. Vista's going to already have his defenses up and available. Now Deft is here as well, and that could be free Herald. Like, HLE don't have to do much else. Teleport in from Zhao Hu. I think he's just trying to get near the possible fight, but also just get to top lane.
Just overall nice coming out from HLE. They had tempo on the play first. They go for it. Shahu needed that back to where Morgan had already backed for his items. And for RNG now, it's like, okay, we're going to go back to our waves. We're going to keep steadily farming. But overall, not a lot.
It's not been the winning strategy.
Now, I guess we're looking at where they want to use this Rift Herald.
Nope. Might have caught Morgan here crying. Prepping as well. Here comes the Maelstrom. That's going to be a send up Morgan. Flag and drags away. A lot of good damage there, but it's not will not be enough, and no summoner spell really had to be used.
Yeah, RNG not able to find a play top. We do see Willer making his way down. Willer should be looking to use the Herald and bot side, in my opinion, for the fact that you do have the Aphelios, he's your big carry, especially with the fact that Morgan does have Airy, and you are just trying to sustain through the lane. It is all about the Aphelios, so take away the Scuttle Crab. Willer probably going to just farm out his bottom camps and then look for a potential scenario where you can take this one away and pivot into Dragon. The question is, how will RNG respond? They do have globals. They don't have Kennen ultimate up right now, so RNG really don't want to be fighting for the next minute, minute and a half, so any play that HLE go for might even just go uncontested by RNG.
1300 gold.
Yep.
RNG, yeah, on the back foot by quite
So RNG need to start figuring out how to stem the flow of this gold right now. Herald Eye is on Willer, and that's going to be the catapulting point for this, because the game's still climbing. We're still climbing higher and higher in terms of the laning phase gold disparity. Vista getting some work done here, and Ming has arrived. Vista, I think you're going to have some problems here, my friend. He's going to flash. And that's frankly enough. Now the Gragas's engage options are non-existent on a pro level, perhaps, for another like 4.5 minutes. And Chovy set it forward pretty well here. Chris forced to flash as well as Way, but they are still chasing, and they are going to chase them into their blue buff and deep into their jungle.
They go for their window for a play, look for that vision into the enemy jungle, kind of bait RNG into the sense of security, looking for the all-in on Vista. But on both side lanes, HLE were the ones pushing in, so Morgan able to walk down first. Even Deft was hovering over, so forcing even more summoners out from the side of RNG. Pings are coming down towards bot right now. Willer's
yeah, I think everyone's going to be moving bot here now with the pings and everything. Zhao Hu has arrived. I'm going to pull out and clear this wave here. Destiny might be used by Chovy for the first time just to get to this fight. I think he's still locked into that must-kill turret mode, and that's going to be first Drake over to RNG, so no contest from Homalive, but it's not clear that they're getting a big trade for it or anything like that. Wave's going to be crushed into bot lane here, but God's going to be able to pick up that.
Pings pivoted towards the top half of the map, and looks like now just reacting to whatever RNG are doing on the map, because Willer now walking through mid.
A little bit of a miss there. Alright, here comes the Herald. Should be a good smackaroni. I think Morgan might be in a little bit of trouble here. Maelstrom's going to come out, and that'll be the flash forced. So Morgan in a little bit of trouble there, but makes it out. It's going to cost him quite a bit. He might actually have that flash up by the time the next Drake's up, so do have their options.
They know about FPX being super aggressive, and maybe they know about other teams like Top Esports or IG, but in terms of kills at 15, RNG were always extremely high. RNG were always a very aggressive team. We've seen it throughout this tournament of just how many early ganks they love funneling into Xiaohu, and it's just a bit surprising we haven't really...
Well, it's been super muted. Like, it's been super surprising how much Xiaohu has not really been played to. Like, you could say that they're playing into him or around him or with that Gwen game, but even this game right now, not really a lot's happened. He's gotten the flash away from Morgan, like, once, and they had the one gank on him earlier, around, like, the, what, 6 minute, maybe 4 minute mark? So RNG playing super passively and just not really looking for anything. Ults are up and available. Cryan's got his global, and they're just not really fighting over anything. The only reason they got the Drake is because HLE handed it over. They weren't concerned with it. Look at this. Oh gosh. 50 CS lead. There's more. Yeah, it's a straight 50 CS lead for Chovy right now over Cryan. And Cryan's not really getting anything for it. He's just losing out in that. That's actually, yeah, that puts Chovy way ahead of the clock. He is plus 100 CS Or plus 10 CS a minute there.
I think you just path Willer up towards the top side once again. You already have vision in RNG's top side jungle, so you can look to start playing to abuse that. You have this for Chovy.
Not too many options for RNG. I don't think they've spotted Way just yet.
No, we see Willer pivoting back towards bottom side.
It's just maintaining like passive control here. Like I think in a way, like Homolife aren't too concerned about anything. If anything, Chovy's playing a defensive Twisted Fate. He's only interested in globals to swing fights that are going against what his bot lane needs and wants. You know, Morgan's gonna be left on an island. It's gonna be a decent trade damage there onto Cryan. Goodness. So yeah, right now it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a super passive game here. There's not a lot of reason for Homolife to push the envelope. They don't really need to. This is gonna become his own major damage point. Willer does get better the later this game goes. Morgan's gonna be a fantastic assassination. Oh, and we are gonna have a play here. Cataclysm's gonna come in. The Maelstrom's gonna go on out, but the flash comes through and the stun is not landed by the Everfrost, but they're gonna go on in, and that is good jungle. It's good juggling, but Morgan will go down. Willer has arrived, but not really to get anything out of this. Chovy on the run. And now the rest of RNG have shown up topside here, but I think they're going to be interested in this Herald because it has been given over, and that was a trade of kills. It's not really what you want. The kill went over to Xin Zhao and not over to Morgan, who did get the kill onto the Kennen. And now Chovy's arriving, and I think this is somehow dissuading RNG off of this Herald. They're baiting it out, or they've leashed it out. But Willis is gonna they can reset this. This gets reset. Oh, here we go. Everyone's teleported in. Zhao Hu has arrived as well. We're about to have a full team fight, but HLE are not exactly where they want to be here. They're going to get the jump in, and I think it's going to be a dead way. The Gorge are going to keep him alive here. Now he's got his Crescent Guard up to prevent anything from really ruining him. Def going to be allowed to put out as much damage as he wants. Chovy finishes off Ming, and now the fight's going to be on the way here. The reset from Willer to go on in. They're going to stun up and lock up and destroy Cryan and HLE. Firing on four cylinders here and ready to go here. Gold leads at 4K. 27,000 to 23,000. HLE are just large and in charge. They have taken over this groups. They disappointed in plans, but now the plays are rolling in. Now the action is occurring, and I think Morgan might find himself in a bit of trouble here. Way gonna get a grab. Put the shield out. Wind becomes lightning is going to miss actually, and Morgan gets out. No flash available, but definitely not even required. All right, so here's the fight. They're kind of spread out across this. Willer trying to actually get himself in. Morgan is able to get out. Now they come back in and they lock off, and there goes Way. He gets the smite off, and I think he even got the Gore Drinker off, but it's just not enough. Like, he's not enough to win the rest of the fight here. And he's just stuck in the pit. He's gonna have to like flash out of the pit just to actually survive this, and he just leaves Crying to die. So great collapse there by Homolife, just kind of controlling the situation, isolating targets, forcing them effectively out of the fight. They are not dead. And then just Deft allowed to just put out his damage. So no problems there for Homolife. Oh, and there's gonna be Destiny call out. RNG trying to stack these Drakes here. It's probably about the only win condition that they've got left, if they can sneak these Drakes and maybe delay the game long enough to find an opportunity back in. We know there's not really like Zhao Hu gets the Electrical Storm. It could win a lot here, but I don't think they've actually even got the angle. And here comes Chovy from the backside. He's going to catch onto Zhao Hu. It's going to be a huge Cataclysm in from... Oh boy, it's going to be a catch out. And there's the runaway. Zhao Hu not getting much. Willer hiding out in the bushes. And Morgan, I think you're about to be in trouble. Gets stunned up, and that's going to be the secured kill there for Zhao Hu. Chovy going to have to run away here. Second Drake was taken and secured by RNG, and HLE more or less lose that fight. Constellation prize. Herald was dropping mid lane, and that's going to be the first brick acquired here by Willer. I think they're okay zoning this one out. He's going to move on over, and there's going to be the fight in the jungle here. We're going to jump back in. The Magnusword's going to come through, and that's going to be a dead Deft put in on the front line, unfortunately, and there goes Vista as well. Homolife overreaching a bit, trying to find some stragglers in the jungle after that fight by the Drake, and just short of getting 2 towers for that. They really could have actually probably reprioritized their directions. So it's secured by the Misfortune, actually. Big ultimate in. Morgan finds his way out, and now Def kind of like left alone. He's gonna be able to get the root onto Xin Zhao to like prevent that, but Chovy and Morgan kind of just finally get turned on. And yep, that's going to do that. But then Deft actually probably, I think Deft makes the call for them to try to find someone to come on in. And it's going to be a pretty good thing. The ultimate coming out from Deft as well, but they just don't really have the damage just yet. Gale Force is back in, but it's to his own demise. So HLE getting a little too overconfident, a little too ballsy there, and it's going to cost them. It's going to cost them quite a bit. Gold lead's still in their favor, but you know, 5K plus gold lead that they had is kind of gone down now to about 4 or 3, gone down to about 3K. So a little less than what you would want. RNG getting the second Drake is not gonna spell any good news for here, and this puts Homolife quite a far ways away from getting their own Dragon Soul. But they are actually winning on this turret fight. It's going to be a second turret over, and that's local gold given over to Def, accelerating this Aphelios, getting their late game insurance policy and hard carry where he needs to be. So Homolife misplay doesn't detract from their overall plan, and does not appear to detract from how in control of this game that they are. They have yet to get to where they're really invading RNG's jungle to put down wards and to, you know, push that vision line back and start relegating RNG to fewer and fewer parts of the map. But they're doing well. They're still holding out well. And Chovy about to flame Horizon crying. So there's that. Not too surprising, and a little bit scary at the same time. And I bet actually, even though the CS lead is in Gala's favor, there's probably like a good K or 2 advantage over on the side of Deft. Just with the kill, the assist, and also the turret gold.
It's actually really fun watching Chovy, even if he doesn't maybe move on every timer. It's like, cool, I'm literally just gonna destroy you so hard, you cannot roam either, and we're gonna
I'm really curious to see if Chovy's gonna get any more proactive plays with this Destiny, or any good cross maps. Because once again, they don't exactly have to push the envelope. It's just that it's a very good option or idea for them to push the envelope, considering what they have. Specifically, the Twisted Fate, Morgan's lockdown will be fantastic. It's all, a lot of these elements are going to be very useful for the rest of the game. It's just, will we see any proactive uses of them in the first, say, 30 minutes of the game?
What an understatement lyric. I love that. You know, Chovy is not the worst mid laner in the world. I agree.
maybe still a little bit salty with how the week is going. I think it's pretty understandable. Maybe I shouldn't take out my frustration on like Hanwha Life, Chovy, or the LCK. Maybe I should take it out on LCS and C9 specifically.
Yeah, take it out on team.
Whoa.
Like Cloud9.
Whoa, FPX. I'm just saying we clearly couldn't, but dragging up 50 seconds, Hanwha Life.
Yeah, dragging the next big thing.
And I like that they're trying to use Chovy and Morgan to set up this pick onto Cryin. RNG have a really good read though, and they're just looking to hover down.
Yep, you're going to just hover, play it safe, be available, not trying to press too far in, maybe even just trying to, I think they're just trying to look to find an overreacher and turn them into a scraggler. Cryin, not look for the heavy engage, although it would have probably felt like 4v3 or something like that.
Absolutely require good positioning, or their entire team dies in the span of a second and a half. Dragon up in 10 seconds now. Sahu gonna go ahead and fight for ward control. Vista walking forward. Chovy slow. Chovy has to flash away from Ming. And now RNG can group.
And RNG with priority over this dragon now.
No problem.
So RNG fighting back just enough on the positioning side. The 4K gold lead still in Hanwha Life's favor. Destiny is going to be brought out just to get clear vision. Doesn't look like it's going to be any real jumps on anyone. Gold card up and available for Chovy. He's going to get the hit onto Cryin. That's going to be just small peanuts. He's a tanky boy. Now Morgan. I think he's trying to actually, yeah, they're just playing defensively. They want to give it all to Deft. And Deft stacking up some of these shurikens. Xiaohu's jumped over. They know he's in the pit right now. That's going to be ult down here. It's going to be purple. It's going to root up some people. That's going to be a gold card. Oh boy, the bullet time's going to come out as well. They got to get inside of it. Morgan's going to take out Xiaohu, and the dragon's going to get secured actually by Willer on with the Cannon Soul. And now comes the reset game, and the stun's going to come on. And that's going to be a dead way. He might have gotten the kill onto Morgan, but that's going to be all that RNG are able to get in that fight. And the first Drake is secured by Hanwha Life, and their team fight looks to be quite on fire. And that misfortune, I don't think, did enough with her bullet time to be perhaps even worth the pick. Now, they've got the white gun on Deft here. He's going to be able to actually just really destroy this dragon super fast. And I think he's probably going to have Infernum just next. So going to be able to put out quite a bit of damage there. And it looks like they're not going to be able to pull it off. They need... I really thought they needed a better gun combo onto Aphelios to pull that one off. But spotting Xiaohu jumping into this butch really sets up Morgan. And also the Dragon's attacking Xiaohu, which is not what you want. And there we go. There's the knockup. And then they jump on, blow up Xiaohu. He is unable to react to that. He kind of disrespects it in a way because, you know, I feel like he kind of knew it was there or something like that. And then they just have the easy cleanup. So Homolife still holding the reins here. Still masters of their destiny. Masters of this game so far. 6K goal lead now. And Baron is still up and available. We have yet to even get to that sort of game-breaking buff and moment of this match. Morgan about to be collapsed on, but here comes Chovy, and here comes the teleport in. It's going to be from Galio, and there's going to be the goal. He's going to go golden. Chovy is going to actually end up in a big bit of trouble here, big bit of hurt here. Shutdown goal going over the way, but now the fight's still on, and there's more HLE here than there is RNG for now, but now the rest is arriving here, and they're trying to get the finish off kill here. Wei is going to run away into the river by himself, trying to escape death, but he's going to get that kill. And now it's time for RNG to run, and HLE still running the show and running RNG out of their hopes, out of their hopeful corner of making it first out of this groups and doing the LPL proud.
RNG, just take the recall. You're 3v4, but you're half health. They're at best you can wave clear, but I guess they're able to. So, you know, credit where it's due.
Goal leads. Yep, there we go. 1.4K in the favor of Deft, especially now that he's like 3-1-2. Goal lead. Oh my gosh, it's like a 3-4K lead for Chovy over Crying right now. That CS discrepancy is still quite ridiculous. So here comes the collapse, at least triple collapse here. Chovy shows up, they try to get the engage on there. The Maelstrom goes off, he cleanses out of it, then goes golden. Not losing too much health here. Morgan's still pretty healthy, and it ends up being Zhao who is the one in trouble here. The wild card's finishing him off, but right before Chovy gets taken down by a Wei. And then they're just really allowed to just stand and just take it. They're not too concerned about taking much of the damage from anyone or anywhere here.
Steps up, Hama Life looked really good. He was free hitting that entire fight. Like Xiaohu, he forced the zone out of Chovy.
Okay, next plays up, next looks for it. And this has actually gone for the Locket of the Iron Slayer, the defensive option here. It still looks and feels like HLE are playing for Deft as opposed to playing, you know, maybe like an aggressive Gragas option. Because that's going to give the consecration buffs over to Deft as Vista gets more items, and also gives them that active shield option. So there's a good bit of pieces indexing in. And we're going back to this LDR build, or at least going back to this collector build on Deft, which I think we're going to have a little bit of a kind of reliving the issue of just his build from earlier in the group stage. He's probably going for his Infinity Edge next, which will be the saving grace for it, but the LDR is still, especially since Cryan is going to be kind of like a bigger boy and Wei just slightly bigger, kind of still think that the LDR is going to do a lot more for Deft than the Collector will, but that remains to be seen. Now we're approaching into that 30-minute area, approaching into this 3-item mid-later game part of, well, at least what's been this tournament. And oh boy, still a 6,000 goal lead for Homolife Esports. They are now actually getting set up quite early for this Drake. It'll be the second Ocean Drake. They're gonna get their stats padded for this. Ming on the wide side of this entire situation, trying to actually grab the flank here. And this is actually separated Morgan. He's got teleport, so he can join his team, but he does end up basically being the possible flank. And Xiaohu also doing the same here. So RNG trying to find their point of engage. I don't exactly know why Xiaohu is not even just engaging initially, because there could be just an option just to flash. He doesn't even have it, but I want him to like flash like Rocket Belt into the team. And here comes the turn, engage onto Chovy and onto Morgan, but it's just not going to be enough here. Drake secured. Willer's done his job, and now they can start to leave here. Deft grabbing just a little bit of damage on his way out here. Way not appreciating that at all. And that's Morgan once again poking him out. So, and they're gonna move. Homolife moving topside. I don't. Does what guns does Deft have? Because that's gonna be the big decider here. Once he gets the IE, he's gonna be able to melt through it. But it's gonna. Oh, it's the green and white guns. This is exactly what they need here. Turret's gonna go down here and start helping Deft just stack up these shurikens, and it's gonna end up being a monster of a situation here. And it's gonna hit half health pretty soon. Or Willer trying not to get brought too low. Vista, Morgan, and Chovy playing screen right now, but I think RNG are wise to the situation here. 4k health left on the Baron, and Deft has gone over to the green and purple gun here. Morgan still fighting outside 1v4 at this point, really, and oh my gosh, that was so much damage there on to Zhao, who he has not got a prayer. The bullet time's going to come out. It's going to push them away. The Baron has reset. No one dies, but Homolife playing with fire there, and RNG getting pretty lucky on pulling a Homolife away from the Baron and forcing them into a fight, but it's not going to last, actually, it appears. Rel's gone back amidst fortunes in mid lane. Controller's got to get cleared out. I think we're at it again. That's going to be 3 attacking right now. Vista and Chovy are the ones looking to actually peel. Right there. Oh, that's gonna be jumping there for Ming. He's trying to get the catch on, but the Magnustorm's actually gonna go wide, and he's gonna get blown up instantly here. The crash down from Crying is gonna be massive here, but now it's just all onto Depth. He's gonna actually get huge damage out. He's gonna get a one, but Wei has gotten on top of him here. Now Gala's gonna be able to free fire from this, and that's gonna be a dead Deft here. Shut down Gold going over to Crying, and now Willer and Vista need to try to run away. Chovy trying to do what he can here, but the red card's just gonna slow. It's not gonna get a lot more than that done. And now Crying, Gala, and Wei stand tall, and RNG getting the team fight win, and this actually probably becomes the turning point for this game here. Yeah, Ming making the call is everything there.
I'm actually a bit surprised HLE didn't win out, as we're going to see here. Vista just completely separated Gala from the fight with his barrel, but...
And Deft Gale forces away from the engage there, and there's not much else to be done. He flashes actually as well. But now Crying just gets in, gets a massive stun. And it's just really on Deft to try to get as much as he can done here. And you get one. But this is not enough here. Deft arrives. They get the gold card on to Gala. But this is not anyone else really alive.
They had Chovy zoned out at the start of that fight. He was down towards the bottom side, towards Wolves. He was zoned out by the positioning of RNG as the rest of the team was in the pit. Had nowhere else to be. And it was a 4-man Galley ult and a 4-man Cannon ultimate. And Chovy had to ult about 1,000 units to get into range. I'm not saying he made a mistake. I'm just saying that's how the team fight played out. So he wasn't hitting when the first engage came through, and it meant they got just enough kills. So RNG showing they can team fight. They just have to get into range. 3 out of misfortune. Gala can be huge.
Almost on death cap for the Cannon as well.
Yeah. That Cannon gets the death cap, and this is going to be pretty much a GG situation. The damage will be quite insane, especially with the Void Staff. So any MR being built up, especially by like that of Willer, it's gonna get cut in half or worse. Item disparities. There's the Infinity Edge. Alrighty. Def's on full power. Def has peaked. So has Gala. He's actually been able to keep up quite well with his items compared to Def. That stopwatch being broken, that's an 850 gold investment that was used, didn't win the fight, unfortunately. Yep, he's only like 1,000. He's only 500 gold behind, actually. So Gala's been doing a lot of work here. Actually, 50 CS over Deft right now, which might explain why the gold has gotten so close. He's just been allowed to farm. He's gotten his assist. He's actually the only player in the entire game right now with a bounty. So Gala looking really scary.
So that is the gold lead. You know, back and forth a little bit on jungle, back and forth a little bit on top lane, back and forth a little bit on bot lane. But the 4K gold lead is pretty much Chovy. Now, fine player to have.
Nothing too interesting, too crazy just yet. It's gonna be a hard index into bot lane.
To see what Chovy's doing. He is the focal point of this game. All 10 players need to know what Chovy's up to.
Also, Shahu did finally just pick up his death cap. Also, Guardian Angel coming
This could be the big Drake. This will be third Drake for either team. Big stack for Homolife for just their sustain doing so well, or being able to do so well. They're kind of out of control words here, and Willer's actually going to play some backline, or at least some split push pressure in these final seconds. And now here comes the Dragon fight and control here. When becomes Lightning connects onto Morgan, but it's not really going to do much. who is going to start up the Drake. Flank is warded. Ming looking for the catch, and Morgan's going to be first to turn on him. Willer's able to dash out, and out. There's the sudden engage. That's going to be the bullet time. It's going to be huge damage here. And Deft, he's down here. Ignite's going to take him from Rel. And now Homa Life going to be forced to run here. Vista so low here, but Kryan's going to have his Predator on, and that's going to be a dead. It's going to be a dead Gragas right there. Kill secured by Gala. His gold lead secured over his counterpart now, and this is going to be a third Drake for RNG. They are one Drake away from Soul, and RNG had a little bit of an interesting game earlier today against Fnatic. They have technically gone even with Homa Life, but they are about to actually show that it is a 2-1 ratio between them and Homa Life, and they're going to get their first place. Has yet to be seen. Has yet to be seen. But at 35 minutes right now, the game is it's only 4K in Homa Life's favor. It's not too hard to overcome. I just need probably like one more fight or a Baron steal with a good number of members up and available to use it to take that map control and take some more of these towers down. Because right now it's 4-1. Homa Life have taken out 4 out of the 6 outer towers, and RNG with just a 1. Morgan and Willer starting up this Baron. I don't think much is really going to come from it. That gold card just hit pretty hard, pretty well. They're going to move in on to Chovy. Oh, and that's going to bring him back in. That's going to be a stun up, and that's actually a pretty good combo there from Vista. They cannot finish it off. The Crescent Guard doing too much, but now here comes the Destiny. He's going to push himself on in. Oh, the Cataclysm is going to go out, but Morgan is going to fall in his own dome. And now, Chovy, I think you're going to have to run away, my friend. Wade's going to jump onto him. Deft trying to get the cleanup from behind here. Chovy, all he's got to do is just delay here. Bullet time across the bow, and it's going to actually... Vista has gone golden, but I don't think he's got long to live here. Red White Gun on Deft, trying to get something done here, but he's going to get blown up here. The damage from Xiaohu is just too much. He gets just enough, probably like a Q, Lightning Rush, and then the Zap, which are not all the technical names. You figure it out. But Deft going in way too hard, way too far, could not recover that fight, and now it's going to be RNG swinging the tides of this game, which has been very much in Homa Life's favor since like about 10 minutes or earlier. At least like 1K gold lead way back then. But we are finally getting to where the game, the gold, everything's getting flipped and switched, and RNG are going to be back in this game here. And I love how they look for this. They get a lot of good damage, but not everyone can get in, and Def frankly just has to step out because of the incoming threats. And then this Cataclysm is great, but it just doesn't really get a lot done. Def forced to turn on to Ming, gets the kill there. Yeah. That was a good bullet time. That was a good bullet time from Gala. Makes absolutely sure that he cannot leave, and HLE just get a little bit too confident in their abilities. Deft, way too confident in his abilities, and he gets blown up. So that's about the run of that mill. And so begins the Baron power play, brought to you by Red Bull. And what are they going to focus on first? Because getting that mid lane turret down would be groovy, to say the least. But they might not even be comfortable diving. And Xiaohu's going to get work on this top tier 1. And so closes the gold lead once more here. We're down to just 7, so 6. It's only 600 gold separating these two teams. That's like another turret. This mid lane turret goes down here, and HLE and RNG will be tied up. And there we go here. Perfect for a moment. So now RNG, they get to just go through Homa Life's jungle, take whatever they can, whatever they need, whatever they please. Ooh, barely caught him. Probably hit him with his blue suit. Or at least made contact with his blue suit while he was already in transit up to the mothership. That's Destiny pulled out by Chovy, but not for a lot, not for a play.
I was hoping Xiaohu maybe would think about looping around. I guess they don't really know where HLE has vision, right? Because they haven't made their own aggressive push into HLE's bot side jungle. And if you haven't made your own aggressive push...
And now here you go. 55 seconds left until this Drake comes up. And this will be Soul. This is RNG's Soul point right here. They secure this. They have themselves quite a bit of health regen. And HLE playing like super passive now. I know Def's gotten punished like once or twice, but he's still like the major linchpin that this team needs. Turret goes down here, so that's going to be 4 turrets for RNG right now. Mid and top still left over, but I think they're going to siege this up here. 15 seconds left. If they can get this last turret, that would actually be a major win for them and really put them into domination. But I think they're going to play it smart. They're going to back off. 4 seconds left on the Baron buff. All right.
RNG have a dragon soul to claim as well. And Cryan can TP flank. There's a couple of wards in this jungle. Oh, and that means how my life? No, they can't step up. RNG grab up.
And there you go. Soul secured by RNG here. No contest from Homolife. They just don't even want to tangle with it anymore. Gold lead's only like a K in RNG's favor, but Homolife, I think their confidence in their team fight has just been shot. Def not willing to take the fight here somehow, for some reason, looking for more items. He gets his Guardian Angel, but I don't really think that's going to matter in this game. If they can get on top of you, they're going to kill you twice pretty easily, and you're just not going to be able to rise again. I would love for him to, like, I don't know, go Bloodthirster or something, or Lord Doms would have been great. Mercurial Scimitar, because there's a lot of stuns coming in. Rel, Kennen. So this is looking a little grim here for Homolife. Soul advantage over to RNG is going to pretty much swing them an extra like 4k gold at the most. And so what's Homolife looking to actually get involved here, get done? Because Baron's going to be like the next thing in 2 minutes. I don't think they want to look for any fights. Trying to time out or at least get all these wards out of their jungle, even though they can't really clear them out exactly right now.
RNG have fully taken control of this game. They're the ones with deep wards. They're the ones now pushing mid first. Now Cryan is allowed to go side lane. Finally, take some waves prematurely or proactively.
Let's see.
Without feeling like his team's gonna die to a Jovial.
Yeah, it must be a nice feeling so far in this game that he hasn't gotten to experience once. And now, I mean, I wonder to see how confident and aggressive RNG are willing to be, right? With the fact that they are the ones.
Yeah, because they're gonna need to be the ones that hit the go button to finish this game off.
Soul laners, it is going to be grouping up, I think, and walking through mid, then walking into the enemy jungle, trying to set up vision, looking for these picks yourself, of maybe baiting HLE out of their base. But HLE don't need to walk out of their base until Baron spawns.
True. So they're just catching.
Yeah. This game's gonna be neutralized right now, and it's getting late. Game's getting late here. 4 items completed for each. Actually, full item finish for Gala right now off of all the gold that they just got from the Baron buff. Def's only a little bit behind, but that's not going to really mean too much. His ability to play front to back is pretty substantial. RNG, do you want to overextend for this one? They're going to try to get this inhib down, but they're rushing into this. HLE not ready for the defense here. Willer trying to actually get some flank option. Destiny's going to come out. But I don't think this... Oh, this is going to be the isolation here. They're trying to get the jungler, but Wade's going to put out his Crescent Guard. That's a major team fight ultimate that keeps him alive. Chovy, Golkar's going to come out. It's going to connect. Everfrost does not hit anyone or anything. Chovy's damage is so negligible right now with this Twisted Fate. And clear waves pretty well. But the rest is going to be super scary here. And Daft, he's about to get separated from his team. They're... RNG still backing off, still baiting, trying to wait for Homolife to overextend, grab them, and finish them off. All ults available except for that Crescent Guard. It's the only thing not up right now, and Destiny, but that's not too much of a team fight. Cask will be up pretty soon. Cask is going to be up sooner than the Crescent Guard by like marginal points. They've spotted. Blue Trinkets doing their work here. Chovy. Predator proc trying to find that option in, and Baron's gonna be taken here. They can't find it. They can't find their way in. They just get to stand there and just watch. And now second Baron secured by RNG. So begins the end. Hanwha taking a while to get back here. This Baron buff is not to be trifled with. They're going to rush this in. Morgan's not going to be able enough to hold this. His turret's going to be dead. It's going to be gone here. Gala, full build. His auto attacks hurt. This fight's got to happen like right now. All ults are back up and available. Banshee's Veil for Zhao Hu. He's going to take a minute for him to actually get in. Chovy's taking too long to get back, and this game is going to be over here. It's going to be deft. Bullet time across, but it's not going to catch anything. And now Chovy's arrived, but it's just too late. That is just... not enough, and Deft trying to get something done here, but the Nexus is exposed, and that's gonna be it. Deft goes down. Royal never gave up, pulled it back after such a long time in the dirt during this match. And Homolife, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Loses confidence, throws the game, and so it goes.